This is basically the same like yesterday. Yesterday I updated my main account to Bastian Außer Times everything. And at the same time I hibernated the other profile. But what's interesting is the page that you have seen a little earlier already existed. So you go past 2 pages yesterday, 3 on the 3rd page, not even on the 3rd page. On the bottom of the 3rd page, therefore almost on the 4th page, you find my profile, Bastian Außer. So that I have a really problem with. It's all documented. This stuff is all video recorded. So basically here you can see me hibernate that account, but the page that I demonstrated you earlier already existed before I even hibernated account. This is what's fucking crazy. This is the best part about it. So Jack Dorsey, who not only was involved in it, had a lot of problems with me, all kinds of problems, was involved in a lot of torture. When I say involved in it, this guy was involved in a lot of torture. So what you're gonna see right there, this is actually from earlier today, July the 3rd, 2025, 1 past midnight, at night time, early morning hours if you want. No, I cannot go along with this kind of stuff. This kind of stuff, how did all this stuff started? This was not even hibernated yet here. The account was not even hibernated yet. So this is for me very important for you to see how this functioned before I even hibernated account. So you see that right there? If you click on this account, the same way, just as you have seen a little earlier, the page does not exist. So this is before I hibernated account, yeah? Right here at the end, you're going to see it's a date and time right there. Before I reach the account, end of the video, I always take the date and time. There you go. See this? This was just 35 minutes after midnight. But I made sure I would video record this stuff. So why would you do this for? Why would you do this for if not to fuck person? So the person would not be visible. What exactly I was... Yep, this is the one. What exactly I was trying to do is this shit here. You know, every time when they do the stuff like this, the only thing that happened was what I was trying to correct yesterday, this stuff, I was cut from the internet by my neighbor Method Yerman, who was also explaining me my having problems also with LinkedIn, etc., etc. Method Yerman was very well-paid police officer, but it was very, very clear to me that he's going to be very, very, very well-paid police officer because he would compensate his police payments, salary, a high salary, for the problems he would continue to make to me, involving also remote attacks, remote cyber attacks. They basically will be sitting and watching the stuff I do on the computer and disturbed, irritate, whatever convenient to remind me, etc., the stuff that went on during MK Ultra. That's why he was paid more money. The thing they do is they expose themselves even more. That's how they paid them more money. About what they were doing, what they are doing. He was involved in absolutely every torture procedure. I had everything ready to change the name and go about business, go do other... Yeah, I wanted to change the name. Stuff. All of a sudden I find myself in a Mumma land. I don't even know where the fuck I was. Yeah, you have no idea if somebody's doing the stuff like this based on MK Ultra scenario promises. How disturbing that stuff is. Even know what the fuck to do, how to change and so on. You have no idea how irritating this stuff is. Do the stuff, go change the stuff, do the stuff. So the stuff that you see, however, was the day before earlier, right? Here is where I take the date and time at the end of the video. Involved in MK Ultra. What exactly I was trying to do? What exactly I was trying to do? Damn it. The point here is this stuff here. Choose the visibility. Do you see the choose the visibility? Do you see it? Do you see this shit here? Choose the visibility. Alright, so it's all Lincoln members, right? You can see it. Did I select it? I did. Yes, I did. Here you can see how I close the account. This is actually even the wrong account. Actually, I don't understand why is it displaying me right there the picture from the old account. This is really crazy. Let me see that. Let's make sure that. So this is basically once it was updated, this stuff. So I did update it. Hold on. Now they're fucked even more because I am now improved that stuff into something completely different. Here, this is what you get here. When you Google this stuff, you get this kind of stuff here that you see. I don't understand why the hell all of a sudden all this stuff. This during MK Ultra. The 5 minutes if somebody goes and disconnect you from just like this. Just a moment, just a very, very, very important moment. It does. The high letters and low letters. Just a very extremely important letter. That's a very important one. When I was changing the name, they even fucked with my keyboard and would disallow me to engage high and low letters based on the keyboard specifications. This shit I video recorded with a camera in my hands. First, I was cut off the internet when I went to change the first and last name. The first thing that happened was I was cut from the internet. For me, it's important to note that this happened yesterday, therefore on July the 2nd, 2025. However, in early morning hours, this is like, yeah, you could almost say 2 days ago. Not yesterday quite, but this go under the day before yesterday. Because it's at 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday, right? So I'm gonna need you to see this video from beginning till you actually see me changing the preferences for the visibility for the all LinkedIn members community visibility. I want you to see how I changed the name. Extremely, extremely, extremely disturbing. When I was trying to change the name, I was cut from the internet. That's one thing. The second thing, first cyber attack. Second one, when I was trying to input the proper name, the high letters on a keyboard would not function. It would start to display low letters. And for the high letters, with the light on, therefore, it would be a small letters that I would write. Awkwards. This shit is all done remotely. This is all remotely controlled. Jack Dorsey had a lot of problems with it, but the one who did this stuff was the one who knew about all this stuff. The one who knew about all this stuff and the one who promised me this is what's going to be was the neighbor investigator, Metod Yerman. He is retired. He's retired, and he's got time to fuck with this. What exactly I was trying to do is this shit here. You know, every time when they do the stuff like this, the only thing they do is they expose themselves even more. It becomes even more clear about what they were doing, what they are doing. I don't know what the fuck is this. I had everything ready to change the name and go about business, go do other stuff. All of a sudden I find myself in a Mumma land. I don't even know where the fuck I was. I don't even know what the fuck to do, how to change, and so on. You have no idea how irritating this stuff is. Do the stuff, go change the stuff, do the stuff that requires the brain, and have somebody on the other side of the Wi-Fi fuck with your brain and interrupt you whenever it's convenient. For him to irritate you, screw you up in your brain. You don't quite understand me here. So I'm going to have to pause myself and explain myself. You do the stuff like I do. And I was doing the videos about Italy and stuff like this. From the childhood, from the earliest childhood I spent in Italy, drugged up. Requires extreme concentration. It requires extreme brain efforts to be employed. Now, you start doing a simple stuff like this, which is disturbing that you don't see yourself anywhere in the internet. And instead, based on MK Ultra's scenario, you demonstrated some fucky profile, which you were not even going to make, which has got 4 connections, whatever. Disturbing because Google absolutely removed all my material from the internet. They keep me in the dark. My blog was all over the web, all over the internet, all over the Google. From the pictures to links to you fucking name it. And all of a sudden, you can't find me anywhere, but this isn't what this is about. You get to see something that does not exist, that does not employ to me. That's what you get to see about me. And the stuff that still exists, that is out there, 50 connections is really not a lot. However, you don't get to see. You don't get to see my blog. You don't get to see anything about me, but you get to see whatever police, Buckingham Palace, chooses for the world to see is. That's a theft of identity. And it's much more than it's much more than censorship. Because my case is about genocide. So this shit, you might not even understand me, why I'm so upset about. So yes, you go to correct the simple stuff, crime. And when you try to correct this simple stuff, which is actually a heavy crime, they start to fuck with your internet. So I'm sure that you can feel that stuff like this can be very irritating, not confusing, but disturbing. Now we can continue with this stuff. This is the way they do it. They don't do it this year. They did like this since 2006. That's 15 years screwing up with the brain like this. Yeah, this stuff with the open Wi-Fi attacks. This is since 2006, since my return from the USA. So That's a lot of attacks. That's a lot of cyber attacks. Whenever you try to use the internet, you have a monkey on the other side of the internet that have ability to interrupt your adapter, or even better yet, disconnect the wire. It used to be time when they would disconnect me a wire downstairs from the internet and stuff like this, pull me the cable out and so on, from modem and stuff like this. This isn't one-time deal. They absolutely watched absolutely everything I traveled through the internet, with giving me signals with the ambulance sirens from the other side of Krka River and so on. So no, I want you to see this, that this was not set just as you have seen at the beginning of the video. It suggested me that it was only visible to me. How the fuck was this visible to me? This was nothing visible to me. Hey, do you see that stuff right there? It's all administered by police to drive you absolutely insane. This, I have the video recording from, hand camera from the smartphone. You were able to see what kind of a fuck around this is.
Here. This I have not seen yet, this kind of stuff.
I mean, this is driving you literally fucking nuts.
You can't even...
You hear me in the background now. You hear me in the background talking on the camera, video recording this stuff. How the keyboard is fucked up. So at this point, whoever is doing this clearly can hear me and clearly can see the stuff I do on the computer, and he goes and he corrects it into the, again, proper switching me the key, the high and low letters to the proper way. This is the way they do that stuff.
Already for so many decades. This is what I'm trying to do. No, it's not so simple.
So I'm video recording with a smartphone right there in the background. So man, they drive you absolutely nuts with absolutely everything you do. And if you do the work on the internet, you do the stuff through the internet and so on, they make themselves very, very clear about their threats from MK Ultra.
You're not supposed to be, because there should be a light right there and it's not flashing on. The light right there you see is for the high and for the low letters. Now, that's for the high letters, like this. Now that's for the low letters, like that. The thing is that a little bit earlier, and as you have seen it,
you cannot prove that fuck. You start to record, the person who is watching the stuff you do switches back.
And it's not because this shit would disconnect, because it does, but because somebody has a capacity to disconnect or connect, alternate this stuff whichever way they want. So as much as I would try to write my name here with big and with the
basics, the main part about this shit, MK Ultra, is to employ all the time, in Slovenian language you say iznorjevanje, izluđivanje in Croatian. Gaslighting, you say that in English language. That's basically to drive somebody nuts all the time. That's what they do.
Small letters, I couldn't do it unless I put no light on this.
This stuff was good for me. The stuff they did yesterday, the neighbor did yesterday, was very good for me, because I remember who promised me this kind of stuff, and I also recalled the talk between Director Janez Ogulin and Novo Mesto Police Director Janez Ogulin and him. I remember how they make the deal about the salary, the payment, that kind of stuff, with the people he was making a deal about that stuff. They also made me understand that he's going to get paid more, that his salary is going to go to the highest rank and that kind of stuff. so that he can compensate that stuff for the collective. Collective is for the union of the losers. These so-called police officers here who did these things, shady things, and so that maybe he could contribute with his factor of problems to tensions and stuff like that, and maybe that would yield them something. They're so pathetic. They're so pathetic, boy. They stalk. They go out of the skin, man. They just desperate, truly desperate about this stuff.
This caps lock here for the high B and light for the small letters.
They're totally on
They just
toes.
started to fuck with the
So
Wi-Fi.
you can hear me talking about this stuff here. All right.
See, this has the light or does not have the light. Now this light disconnect.
Okay, let's go.
So before
We're gonna be the
letters desktop.
so these are simple things, extremely simple things that would drive you nuts. Oh, there you go. All of a sudden it works. Few minutes earlier, it didn't work for 5 minutes. I was trying to change and it was displayed with a red sign. Error. Something went wrong. Error. Because he disconnected me. That's a neighbor method. Yerman doing this shit. Yeah, it started to get clear who is doing this. And he's doing this. They blame it on it's going to be a burger. It's going to be burger, etc., etc. Can you tell me who is doing this and so on? They employed Berger. They employed some people from Slovenia gas. The guy who was stalking me with the car, with those lights, the incident with the lights guy and so on, who was involved in it, who also caboozled about how it shall be and it will be and he will do also through the internet and so on. They claim that the open Wi-Fi and then everybody will connect. Can you tell who is doing this and so on? Yeah, I can tell you. Yeah, I'm telling you right now. He got paid more money as an investigator, so they compensated him for their retirement, yes. No, that still doesn't matter anything because I'm going to change the name even into more. It pissed me off. It pissed me off because simply they did not like this name Auser and they did not like the name Bastian. They didn't like the newspaper Times, Auser Times. They're very pro-Slavic people here in Slovenia. It's like, oh, glory to Russia, basically. Where the problem is. The problem is the Russian flag doesn't bother them. You know what I mean? Polacks had a problem with me being pro-German. Yeah, you're pro-German. But when I said you fucking Ruskies, they didn't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? Maybe if they wouldn't be so much pro-Ruskies, maybe I wouldn't be so pro-German. And maybe if they would be normal, if they would be a people, we wouldn't even have no fucking problems. You're fucking Slavic pride worldwide. Fuck you. What kind of a Slavic? What Slavic? What is Slavic? Cretins. Problem is enormous. It's not about the Slavic, it's about you, what you guys have dumpsters inside of your heads. The problem is enormous. The problem is giant. You get this here, this is what you get here. When you Google this stuff, you get this kind of stuff here that you see. I don't understand why the hell all of a sudden all this stuff. This isn't about me. This is about the war in Ukraine. They would be more normal. The thing is, they couldn't be. They needed a fucking war in Ukraine. It's more than about me, is what I'm trying to say. And it's got nothing to do with the Germany. So you see at the top of it, look at
This
it.
is the one they want. You see the stuff here?
Look at this. You
This
click
was
on
the
it.
profile that was seen.
All right, click,
That's what was
baby.
shown. You understand? And the profile that I had right now.
So
it
this
was
is 2
completely
days
hidden.
ago.
They were hiding it.
Yeah,
I didn't
my,
want anybody to see me anywhere. Not on LinkedIn, not on Facebook, not in a fucking place anywhere. It was a police tactic from Novo Mesto that were doing this stuff. And it became never more evident that it was a tactic when right now the neighbor attacked me on several occasions
genius.
so that I would not change their name. This is fucking incredible, man. Toxic. Fucking toxic. Sick.
This is the last time this guy fucked me. That I guarantee you, boy.
Well, now they're fucked. Now they're fucked even more because I am now finally more visible. And as I go here, the only thing I do, I change this even a little bit more, and I improve that stuff into something completely different. We add to that stuff even a little bit more, even a little bit extra.
Yeah, I get, when I get angry, man, boy, I'm gonna fucking add you more than just extra. This is where the hell breaks out, man. There ain't be no more Bostian, no more Auschwitz, no more shit, not even Sebastiani. So I get really sensitive about this stuff. Because I learned that giving them even the slightest credit, you know, how easy it was. How easy it was. Very, very easy. No, I'm gonna
And
change it one more time. Don't worry about it.
there you go. Now we have it. That's exactly where we are at.
I will change this one more time. It's not gonna be it. So this is the profile they don't want me to see. They don't want people to see this profile. They're hiding it. And they place in the other profile, which I somehow opened without even understanding that I opened one, really. Another profile with the 4 connections on it. But alright, since it was there, I said that's no problem. We're gonna open also this profile. And then the shit went downhill, literally with the main profile being completely hidden, just like my blog. Instead of my blog, you can see the test on the Außer Times, which at least I compensated and I placed the links in it once I learned about what they're doing, while at the same time they hide you the blog.
I'm very, very unhappy with this profile, and we gotta do a little bit better than that. We're gonna change that.
Strange,
stuff.
because
We're
I
gonna
cannot
improve
see that it would be
immediately. We're gonna
indicated
make that
me
even a little bit more Yugoslav.
seen
We're
or
gonna
not
give them a
seen
good
profile.
assistance right now in the ass.
That's what's strange to me, because you cannot see the... You're gonna see me changing it one more time, boy. There you go. Now we're on Außer. Everything. See, it started like this and then it turned out to be like that. I don't understand what that is. Only you what exactly that means. Shit, I still didn't pay attention to it.
Immediately the change.
Makes better impression, yes. Weird, because it's 50 connections on this profile, and I find it weird, I mean, that people see me.
We're gonna take this off. Just like this.
I don't know what that means, that it would be visible only to me. Somebody changed it. So I didn't even pay attention to it. But I saw that stuff, and so I'm going to come back and I'm going to try to change.
Have some kind of issues with this stuff. We're going to do it like this. That's how easy that stuff was. And now what we're going to do is...
I saw the video on the internet. About guy trying to cross a road, but another guy lets him click semaphore light. You know, every time when he's trying to click the semaphore light, the other guy is convincing him that he already clicked the semaphore light, right? And so he's doing this shit for so long, and the red light just stays on. You know what I mean? The red light, this red semaphore light just stays on till, I don't know whether he clicks the semaphore light and the green light comes. No, the green light comes, right? So the guy is trying also to make sure that the other guy, who doesn't allow him to click the semaphore light for the pedestrians, for the crosswalk, is making all kinds of faces, is all stressed out, asking him if he doesn't trust him, and so on. And this guy, who's just in a hurry to go to a meeting or whatever at work, is extremely disturbed because he doesn't even know this person. And this person disturbs him over there, talking to him about that trust, making him a faces in his face and all kinds of like distrustful faces and so on. So he's all fucking stressed out from this stuff, if you understand me what I'm saying. And in midst of this arguments, green light pops up, and as green light pops up, the guy is so stressed up that he doesn't look no left, no fucking right. He steps on a fucking road, and he is ran over by the car. This is a typical police shit that was done to me on a million occasions. Exactly what I stated to you. In this case here too. You know, I should have noticed that it was like visible only to me, right? But because of the distress, because of the shit, because of all kinds of stuff in my head that went on during MK Ultra, and being attacked like this, you don't even pay attention to the stuff that you should. You know what kind of scum this is? You know how disturbing this stuff is? People get fucking killed on a fucking traffic lights. For real. Driving on the fucking road with the stuff like this. MK Ultra is nothing to fuck with. That's why this type of behavior from United Nations, from European Union commissioners, investigative departments, anti-torture committee, committee for prevention of torture, etc., that was involved in this. I don't understand your kind of attitude. What the fuck is this kind of attitude other than dementia? During MK Ultra, you were talking to me all the time that I'm not normal. You talk to me all the time. They talk to the person that they torture all the time. That everything you do, they portray you as no good. When in fact, the one no fucking good, they are scum. They murder people like this.
One here.
Somebody tells you that you're not doing a good stuff during MK Ultra, fucking smack him on the fucking nose. Whatever they tell you that it should be different, just smack the fuckers. That's it. Never listen. Do your stuff. They're so dangerous that it's incredible how dangerous these people are. So unfortunately, I don't even understand how this happened. Let me see this here again. Okay, so you can see the picture right behind in my profile, in my main profile. That's that.
Immediately the change. This off, that stuff a little bit to something different.
So you can see my profile right there. This is my main profile.
No chance we're gonna have some kind of issues with this stuff. We're gonna do it like this. That's how easy that stuff was.
Alright. Okay, so I had the mistake that I made. Is it tremendous? I changed the name over there to Sebastian Alsets. You see that? And then also times and so on and this and that, and choose the visibility to all Lincoln member, but earlier I did not. So that was the other profile with the 4 connections that they push forward. Okay. Alright, so this is the wrong profile I updated.
It's a good looking chick.
Involved in MK Ultra too.
What exactly I was trying to do is...
So this was it. Let's see this. So confusing that I almost made a second mistake. And well, the second mistake would have been, and it's really easy to see it, because I did not select the visibility for all Lincoln members, right? Just as you have seen, and just as I did at the beginning of this video. It's so easy to make a mistake because of all this stuff that was inside of my head with the 2 profiles, with another profile that they display right at the top, but when you click on it, nothing would display other than error and stuff like this. With so many issues, I made almost another mistake right now as I was writing the letter to set visibility of my name profile to all Lincoln members. You see, that's how easily you get run by the car at this fucking semaphore light. So how about you being fucking crazy but driven insane? This counts. What I'm going to do now is, I'll go ahead and I'll publish this video, and once I publish this video, I'm going to attach to the LinkedIn the link so that you can see the stuff that you guys do. Your Jack Dorsey who was playing with MK Ultra, this genius, just brilliant here that you see, was present during hijacking from Poland to Slovenia, and That's why it's very difficult, because of the lunatics like this. It's very difficult to know who is more prone to do damage. This is a Slovenian state, Ministry of Interior, Slovenian Parliament, police, psychiatry directly, or is it the West? Dorsey's. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying. You get it. You get me perfectly right. Musk, Elon Musk's, etc., etc., etc. I gotta take a date and time here for this. So fucking crazy that it's difficult to discern between you guys about who is more. Well, you're fucking Ribbentrop Molotov. Paprikov. Let me make sure that somehow it's not gonna happen that I'm gonna be ran by the semaphore light for the second time. Let me just make sure about that stuff. All LinkedIn members. Okay, so you were able to see this stuff I did on the beginning of this video, which is this here. This is what you have watched. Hey, therefore, torture. For yesterday, this is important that I have. What exactly I was trying? This is actually even the wrong account. Yeah, was the day low letters. Exactly this stuff. All right, so it's good that I do this stuff here. So this is today, earlier today, I went over and my hair went up because still my profile was not visible. This is just before I started to record that video. And I said, man, this really is fucked up. This, we're gonna have to do something about it, man. If things are gonna go like this, hey. Jack Dorsey was in our house in 2020, 2019, whenever they've been making me break down about this stuff. And they were making me break down of this stuff on more than one occasion, multiple occasions. I felt as if Slovenian police want me to have a problem with the Jack Dorsey, because this is what it appears to me. Slovenian police wanted me to have problem with absolutely everybody, including Elon Musk, etc., etc., etc. See, I didn't pay attention to about the stuff that went on during MK Ultra yet, quite. Only to the certain degree. All through I did lambast at Jack Dorsey. Slovenian police wanted me to have a problem with the Jack Dorsey already for some time, and with everybody else. But it's important to note that it was that everybody else that was breathing them in the collar. That's what's important to note. British royals wanted to have a problem with me. They wanted to have a problem with me, absolutely wanted to have a problem with me. They absolutely wanted me to have a problem. They absolutely wanted me to have a problem with everybody. That's why I didn't want to have absolutely a problem with anybody. Till I reasonably established that these people wanted to be a problem. When people wanted to be a problem, then I don't give a three fuck who you are. You can be Musk, you can be Bush, you can be Clinton, you can be whatever the fuck. Whatever the fuck you think you are, you presented yourself to me during MK Ultra. There's no problem on this side with me having problem with you. You will have a problem with me. You have a problem with me. You absolutely will have a problem with me. I ain't going nowhere. And you absolutely will have a problem with me. You already have a most severe problem with me. That's right. It's non-negotiable. And nobody gives a fuck if you're Bill Clinton, if you're American president, whatever the fuck you are. The higher you are, the bigger moron you are. Because that's what you wanted. Now prove that something is wrong with me. I got a lot of proofs that nothing is wrong with me. What the fuck do you have on your side? Other than your voters. Schizophrenics, basically. That's what I call a schizophrenic. When you see wrong, yet you continue to claim right. I call schizophrenic when you clearly know you're a liar and you continue to lie. And to lie in my case absolutely is employ people as an investigators, as a police who don't want to see, who don't want to hear, and don't want to know. I will be remembered as somebody who refused to go after anybody. Absolutely refused to go up after anybody. Refused. Refused till you guys started to laugh in my face. Till you guys felt that you accomplished already so much damage, that you have done already so much damage, foremost physical, and you had enhanced a capacity next to abuse, astronomical mental abuse you engaged in since my earliest childhood throughout MK Ultra. You felt like you have magnitude of issues you can use against me in the future during what you actually turned literally into persecution. You turned it into prosecution against me through the use of psychiatry and police. That's when you have a problem with me. That's when my job is to bury you, George Bush. That's when my job is to bury you, Bill Clinton. That's when my job is to bury you, Donald Trump. That's when my job is to bury you, Barack Obama. Absolutely fucking bury you, Buckingham Palace. This is why. That's how you will remember me. Not by somebody who wanted to have a trouble, but quite contrary. He was the most quiet, the most silent, the most pleasant and far nicest individual involved in this thing through whom you have ran all these operations. Yet it was not enough for you. The form of payment you have chose, however, is the one we do not accept at outer times. That's why. Because you have chosen a death. Literally death. Through public denigration of my profile image. I'm not going to say overpayment, but granting me the right to exist in peace. See, this is why. This is exactly why.
Yeah, there was more to this stuff. I did not complete the whole thing. There was this white guy, tall American white guy, even blondish hair guy, who would be coming for the purposes of a paranoid schizophrenia in our house since 2012.
since I was dumped in the psychiatric hospital in Ljubljana Polje, and claim that I'm not going to be capable to prove anything. It's more about it. Entire Fujitsu crew, the people in Poland, was involved in this stuff. Was brainwashed during MK Ultra. This is this main part about this whole thing. Okay, so this is like an intermezzo, like the stuff that you would see me release, but this is the stuff that I did not talk, and this is the most important stuff. So the most important stuff is the way they manage to simulate reality to individual. Now that's how dangerous this simulated reality is when you subject it to MK Ultra. The stuff that I did not mention to you is that a blonde guy was coming from United States of America to Slovenia from LinkedIn since 2012. This guy was involved in MK Ultra already since, I don't know, but from day one, this guy was employed by the LinkedIn. As soon as they opened this company, LinkedIn, he was employed by this company. He was involved, maybe even since my childhood, I don't know. And so, for me, that I would suspect, that I would be suspicious about a guy like this giving me a hassle, it's very, very improbably, very unlikely. Yet this is how they simulated me reality, exactly the way you have seen it. Now, they did have entire Fujitsu crew, the people involved in this stuff, before the Fujitsu in Poland even opened. Numerous people would do the same thing. They would simulate me the work before they would even start their positions at work, or I should say before their positions would even start to exist. Work positions, employment. They all demanded from me, especially because there were Serbs also in Fujitsu, in Polish Fujitsu, to absolutely not associate the stuff that I do on the internet with LinkedIn account, where as the only option I will have the ability to remain in contact with these people from Fujitsu. All involved in MK Ultra, we all on your side, we will give us support, etc., etc., etc. So, for that reason, this is how they got me. Not even mention Außer Times in the first place when I opened the account. LinkedIn. This is extremely, extremely important stuff. So my name on LinkedIn account was Bošetejan Sebastian and Auschwitz. I mentioned to you Serbs, Slovenians, psychiatrists, all this Slavujko, Vukojepko, Fuko, with my neighbors included. The entire Novo Mesto police station was extremely, extremely sensitive about the Auser, Bastian Auser, etc., that kind of stuff. So they didn't want that kind of stuff. So in that kind of environment, logically, I opened a LinkedIn account with this kind of name. Exactly the one you see right there. Yes, there was more to it. And if I would not explain this stuff, maybe I would even look strange. Because the answers, they already have prepared all of them in advance. Talking about the blondish guy, tall guy, older guy. For sure older than myself. Maybe not much, but older than myself. changing this kind of stuff to what you have seen me, I have changed. Of course, it takes a little time before changes take effect. And it's very, 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 very possible. It's very possible that when making this kind of a LinkedIn account, if I repeat this blunder from LinkedIn again to you, my account, and I am not gonna say this because when I was delivered from Poland, from Fujitsu to Slovenia, there was a stay in the hostel. Very, very, very easily a police officer who had my laptops, everything in their hands, they easily could modify visibility of my name, etc., etc., to the people, right? Very easily they could do so. Very easily they could do so. Now you can see account right here, right at the top of it, the way it should be. It appears to the people finally. Strange, because I have 50 connections, and all those connections were people who sent me a friend requests. Not, maybe not all of them, maybe few I did requested myself. That means that my profile was visible, right? So now if I go back to my profile, I remember the issue. I remember the issue of Bort Pahor. I remember the issue of Dorsey, Jack Dorsey, discussing this with police. Issue that I mentioned to you earlier. That nowhere, however, it's mentioned your visibility. That you can see if it's too bad. That it's too bad. So I know that they had something to do with it. But earlier when I demonstrated you how I changed my name, therefore a visibility of my name, you see right on the bottom, you see it's a visibility status. I changed one from only to me to visible to everybody. It clearly indicates to me and I'm going to do the test right now so that you can see that. It's not only clearly indicating to me, it's a fact. It's a fact. I already have the proof about it. That somebody fucked with my profile during MK Ultra. LinkedIn profile. If not during MK Ultra, then somebody had ability to play with LinkedIn account, modifying its visibility. And that person most likely was from, most likely but not guaranteed, my telephone was stolen by the police. I explained about that issue. No wonder these people have so much followers, so many followers. They load them with the money, and then they load them also with this stuff here. Okay. Choose visibility. Well, honestly, I would not choose as a visibility this only to me. This 100% was modified by the police or by the people from LinkedIn. The guy whom I have described is about 190 centimeters tall. He had his cubicle, I don't know how to say that in English, like a little office. I can describe the office. It's like you would go and it would be just like down the hall. You would just step on the side to the left. That's where he would sit inside of this cubicle, like a little cubicle, where he would have computer in front of him, that kind of stuff. Jack Dorsey, PayPal Mafia was involved in this. I don't know, man. Since my teenage years, maybe even earlier. I don't have anything else to say about this stuff, but I'm not gonna say it makes me miserable, but look what the fuck it takes for you to get attention. This tall guy, this American guy, at least semi-blonde guy, and I think he was quite blonde. He had a haircut, semi-blonde. Kind of a normal haircut, not really haircut that would be like, I don't know what you, everything is normal, that's true. Whoever chooses what, but he did not have ironed hair or something like that. He just had a hair like a normal hairstyle, nothing. He talked to me that he will go through the computer, that he's got all the information, and based on all that information, very likely will be rationalized, established, that their system shows absolutely everything, that nobody was doing anything to my profile, etc., etc. So the simulation of the reality and just a little, tiny little something somebody did through the use of my computer, I bet, and also internet address I am using, unless they did this at LinkedIn, which would require a different internet address. I don't know, because the Wi-Fi now, on the other hand, it's also open my Wi-Fi. Maybe would even prove that something is wrong with me. But I absolutely did not set. It would be stupid for me to set my profile on visible as only to me. What the fuck would be a purpose that my profile having one visible only to me in use of another account that really shouldn't even exist, but it did because I met few interesting people out there and I wasn't paying attention, and I had one thing led into another, and you open this account and that's when your real account disappears. And before people even reach your account with the 4 connections, yeah, a page appears with your name in which you click just to have a nasty little picture like this one here. I don't even know, but this is kind of funny. It reminds me of that page of the no internet page or something like that. That creepy way of when there is no internet and you have that cactus, whatever they display with the astronaut. It used to be like that. They used to have that stuff. I video recorded that stuff. And next to calling me also alien, yeah. Astronaut, demonstrating me photos of the astronaut whom they cut the oxygen supply and a rope that was tied to the spaceship, whatever, you know. This kind of stuff is what I'm talking about, you know, this kind of stuff, which existed before I actually deactivated this account with the 4 connections. This page already existed. He was talking to me about this stuff, and he said that that should not exist. And I also remember he demonstrated me his computer, that it's right on the bottom. Yeah, when the IT people go, customer service people go, from employed by the LinkedIn, when they go through your profile, it's located right on the bottom of your profile. The logins, obviously. I would say the logins, the internet service addresses and stuff like this. I think they have it. Whenever you were using this stuff, I think they have that stuff. Because that's what he said. If that stuff is not going to show up and this and that, that means that you're mentally ill. So that's something I did not include, and I think it's hell worth including this into this investigation. Maybe the most important part that I did not discuss about.